Okay, so there's two different types of sunscreen, like Renee had said. There's the physical or mineral ones, and then there's the chemical ones. And the chemical ones have these filters that you can see on the screen right there. And there's two types of, Renee, you can jump in at any time too. Two types of sun waves. So there's UVA and UVB. And so what you can think of is like the UVB rays are the ones that cause the sunburn. They're the ones that hit the top layers of the skin. And then the UVA rays are the ones that penetrate deeper, and they're the ones that actually cause the damage that you might not see for years, like the wrinkling and, the skin cancer. So, kind of think of the two layers. And the these filters that you can see right here, the chemical filters, some of them actually degrade in sunlight. So when you're going out in sunlight, they break down, and then you have to add more chemicals in them to make them stable. And then a lot of them are hormone disruptors. Some of them have allergic reactions. A couple of them, if you're allergic to salicylates, or if you have a child, just because I always talk about ADHD and children's brain health, if you have a child, any type of behavior issue and you're avoiding salicylates for that reason, there's two right here, that octisalate and the homosalate, that you'll want to avoid if you have any sort of salicylate, I can't even talk, sensitivity. Thank you. All these big words make my brain stop. So you really want to be careful with these, and oxybenzone too. And I saw, I don't remember if it was Australia or New Zealand. I just read a study that I have to obviously look back at because I just skimmed it and saved it. They are banning oxybenzone and one of these other ingredients because it's killing coral reefs. And and they're just strong hormone disruptors. So especially you don't want to be putting these on baby's skin, because even the baby formulas have these. So don't think, this is one of the biggest mistakes I made, just my kids growing up, period, is I would buy things formulated for baby thinking that they're safer. And some of these have all of these ingredients in there, plus the inactive ingredients. Oh, and that's something too. Sorry. I get so excited about this.
Good. Love it.
You'll find these under the active ingredients on the sunscreen label. So I actually have one right here because I always keep these handy to show like examples. And I think I don't know, but if you can, there's kind of a glare. The active ingredients at the top, if I'm pointing correctly, that's where you'll find the ingredients such as these filters right here. And then at the bottom, you'll always see inactive ingredients. I always recommend checking those too. The difference is,
that's often, I teach people this actually, like we often find the culprits. It's actually very typically the active stuff you can really identify really easily. Sometimes the damaging is really in the stuff it floats in, I call it. Because love this.
The reason they're called active ingredients is active ingredients are the ones that are doing the job, and they're also regulated. Whereas the inactive ingredients can be just as harmful, just like in the active, if there's harmful ingredients. It doesn't mean they're inactive. It just means they're not the ones physically doing the job, and they're not regulated. So in this case, the job they're doing, these filters are protecting the sun or skin from the sun. So these are the chemical ones. And this is the one like, what's this? Neutrogena. It's got Helioplex. So sometimes you'll see Helioplex or whatever. I don't know. I can't think of the top of my head. Avaplex, I think, is another one. And that's just the chemicals that they're putting together. Each company has their own formulation of these 6 chemicals that they provide to keep them stable. So that's the chemical sunscreen. The mineral sunscreen, or the physical black sunscreen, which I love that name too, are the ones that protect with zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. And those are, like you said, they're not as easy to spread. They can get kind of
right. And I love them, but sometimes what they're put in to make it creamy or whatever, that is often the question. So you might have this phenomenal physical block like the titanium or the zinc, but it's like put in a questionable base.
Yes, because I always say, just because it says mineral sunscreen or I've even seen zinc oxide along with some of these filters. So
yes,
they might say the mineral protects with zinc oxide, but then you turn around, it's got like avobenzone and oxybenzone. It's like, no.
As a support, you just ruined that formula, people. Come on.
I always check the inactive ingredients, because it doesn't mean they're inactive, but you'll find there's another chemical called, I'm going to butcher this, methylisothiazolinone.
I should take it for you.
Yep.
We'll put that in the comments later.
Yeah, I can put that in. But it's linked to, well, first of all, it's linked to nervous system damage or toxicity in new studies. And another thing is it's linked to allergic reactions. So
Huge.
yeah, what they found is that you can put it in small amounts. It acts as a preservative in shampoos and rinse off things, but there's no safe amount in non-rinse off products. And sunscreen is definitely a non-rinse off product.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and a lot of times if you look at sunscreen reviews of sunscreens that have this ingredient in there, they get lower stars, and everything's like, my kid got a rash, I got a rash. And it says it was named Allergen of the Year in 2013.
Oh my word. Okay. So on this topic then, when people say I get allergic reactions to sunscreen, what's your answer to them? Do you find it's typically one of these culprits that we have on screen at the moment? Because I know for a fact that from my experience, my point of reference, that some of these, as they engulf and destroy the UV rays in certain skin types, like skin, especially those carrying the redhead gene, that can create a little bit of a thermal action. The mechanism of destroying the UV rays can create a thermal action that then triggers the obviously free radical production, and that can kind of manifest in like a hot feeling in the skin, and it can manifest in inflammation of the skin. So obviously, typically I find in my frame of reference and with our brand that when people do have those reactions, I typically don't find it in our skincare or with dry sunscreen, because you're eliminating the triggering, the underlying cause of that, which really is typically one specific filter. So when people kind of say that they have skin, allergic reactions to sunscreen, would you agree that it's typically related to a specific filter, not UV filters in general?
Yes, and one of the filters is that octocrylene, the second one, the last one there.
Yeah.
That's when it's been shown that when sunlight hits it, it actually breaks down in the skin and causes free radical production, which is exactly what you're talking about, which causes inflammation and can lead to cancer down the road. So
absolutely.
Yes, but so many of these too have skin irritation linked to them. Several of these.
Yes, like the itchy, the warm, that heat associated, like there's an actual, like a feeling of a reaction associated.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what is your point of view on using antioxidants alongside sunscreen?
I love it. And there's definitely things too. Are you talking about antioxidants like in a supplement, or because I was thinking like lycopene? Is that what you're thinking of?
Both topically and orally, actually. So like I don't know. Well, you do know this. I sent Tonya our entire ingredient deck. It's like a whole book full. I don't think she's gotten through all of it yet.
No.
but theoretically, because I live in the world of customization, I could theoretically, if I wanted to, and I do most of the time, actually mix an antioxidant serum for people and then put a sunscreen over the top for daily use. So it might be something like vitamin C, vitamin E, grapeseed extract, green tea extract, and then put the sun protection over the top. So you kind of have that, because obviously being in the sun just generates free radicals anyway. It's oxidative stress, right? So then you're mopping up those free radicals by use of an antioxidant, plus protecting the skin from more oxidative stress occurring.
Yes.
You obviously can't eliminate it, but minimizing it is my goal, especially in summer. And I live in a vacation destination. Like seriously, summer is like horrid for me, because I will go down to the lake and people are literally just bathing out in the sun, just laying there from sunrise to sunset. And I'm just like, you're tomorrow's client, you're tomorrow's client. From your perspective, oral and topical antioxidants is beneficial?
Yeah, because lycopene, something like that, or what was the other one? The grapeseed extract, and even like I think I read carrot seed something. They actually have some protective properties themselves. So
yes, truth. You could have that dual benefit happening. I didn't even think of that, but yes.
Yeah, so that's why I'm really I love that you said you did that. I'm like, dang, we got to talk more. I love that so much, because that's not something a lot of people think of too. So the fact that you do that is amazing, because I think, like you said, it's a dual effect. Some of those do have some protective qualities, but then some of those actually, the antioxidant to help with that free radical breakdown in the skin.
Absolutely. So that is phenomenal. Okay. And then there was one more question that I had, that it was a great question that just slipped out of my mind. So as you keep talking, I'm going to think about it. It will come to me. Yes, no. So pretty much like being sun smart is like really wonderful. Melanoma is also interesting skin disease, a cancer, because it's like an iceberg. I explain to people like your early prevention or early detection. Prevention is key, early detection secondary, because it's such the mechanism of how it spreads can be really interesting. And what you see on the tip, like that dark spot with some irregulation around the parameter and so forth, literally it's just the tip of the iceberg. Mm-hmm. Typically what you see is the minimum, and it's bigger underneath the surface of the skin. So when you have to have melanoma surgically removed, sometimes the surgery is way more than people anticipated and can be quite disfiguring, etc. So I'm a great fan of the self-checking, suspicious moles and lesions frequently, and then getting medical attention the minute you notice any change in them, like really get onto it early. Tonya, you are amazing. I just simply love not only being in your presence, but your vast knowledge base is so impressive. And I always love talking to you. And I love how our worlds collide with so much synergies in what we do, right? I just really love it. And I feel like I have a soul sister in you, which I really appreciate.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You're thinking, because we're doing my interview next week on my page for you, and I'm already like, I might have you definitely a couple times, because now I'm like, ooh, the gut skin connection, a whole other video, yay.
We could do this every week, I'm sure. So that is awesome. So once you have that organized, we will put a link on here so you guys can come and watch. So we're going to just flip the discussion around a little bit and be over on Tonya's page next week to continue this discussion. I really thank you for your time. Really, the information that Tonya has available on her website is stellar. So I highly encourage you to go and download some of the quick tips and beautiful pieces of information that you can implement things in a simple, easy way straight away. Awesome. Thanks, Tonya. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too. Thanks.